Hola estudiantes, bienvenidos. Hoy vamos a hablar sobre verbos reflexivos, reflexive verbs. Okay, if you want to find some more information on this, you guys can always look into your textbook or the online textbook on page 80. It has a step-by-step breakdown, some examples of the way we conjugate these verbs.
Okay, so now to break it down, because we all love breaking it down, here we have reflexive verbs. So in order to say that people do something to or for themselves, we're using reflexive verbs. So we don't really have the exact equivalent in English, but we say myself instead of conjugating the verb differently. But in Spanish, it's all in the verb. So example, washing one's hands and brushing one's hair are reflexive actions because you're doing that to yourself, and the action is the person who receives the action, the person doing it. So, antes de una cita, yo me ducho y me arreglo el pelo. I shower myself and I fix my own hair.
Okay, so you know that a verb is reflexive if its infinitive form ends with the letter se. So basically, reflexive verbs have a few things in common. They all end in se, like ducharse, bañarse, lavarse. A lot of them, most of them have to do with the daily routine, getting ready to do things. And the reflexive pronouns are me, te, se, nos, and os. Each pronoun corresponds to a different subject. So the reflexive pronoun that we use agrees with the person who is doing the action to themselves.
All right, so here we have our first verb. And we have secarse. If you notice, once again, we said if it ends with a se, it's going to be a reflexive verb. So taking off the se, we notice then it's just good old-fashioned secar. That's an AR verb. We know how to conjugate an AR verb. So if you look on the left, you see the me, te, se, nos, os, se. They go along with the verbs because they are agreeing with I am bathing myself. So here we have the conjugations of the verb secarse. Me seco. So if you notice, we took the me, put it in front of the verb, and then conjugated secar just like a regular AR verb. We had the te pronoun. We put that in front of secas, conjugated just like a regular AR verb. Se seca. Nos secamos, os secáis, and se secan. So if you notice that we have the me, te, se, nos, os, se right in front of the verb, and then just conjugate the verb like a regular AR verb.
So some of the verbs that we have are reflexive and non-reflexive. When the verb is non-reflexive, it's being done to someone or something else. So, lavo el coche a menudo means I wash my car. We're not talking about something you're doing to yourself. But if we see me lavo el pelo todos los días, I wash my own hair. I'm washing my hair. So, that's something you're doing to yourself. So by putting the me in front, it makes it clear that the action is being done to you. So if we had a situation where saying you are washing your hands, it'd be te lavas. It needs to change slightly to express that we're talking to someone. So just having that word in front shows that you're doing it to yourself.
And when you use a reflexive verb with parts of the body or clothing, we're using the definite article. So we're not having to say like, I paint my nails like we do in English. We say, siempre te pintas las uñas? Do you always paint your nails? The your is implied, even though it literally translates to, do you always paint the nails? But the fact that I do it to myself implies it's my own. Felipe se pone los zapatos. Felipe puts on his shoes. So he puts on himself the shoes. So it's implied.
When you guys are putting the reflexive pronouns in front of a word, we do that when we're conjugating it in the normal present tense. But if we have a situation like voy a, I'm going to, we need to take the reflexive pronouns, so me, te, se, nos, os, or se. We need to take it and put it at the end of the word and change it depending on who we're talking about. So let's look at the example where it says voy a ducharme. See how it changed from ducharse to ducharme. That's because you're talking about yourself. So the pronoun needs to change even though it's still at the end of the verb. But when we do conjugate it in the normal in the normal present form, it's just me voy a duchar. We have the option of putting it in front of the voy, the verb that's conjugated, or putting it at the end of the non-conjugated verb.
Yep.
So let's look at another example. Te tienes que vestir para la fiesta. So here we have the pronoun in front of the conjugated verb. But another way we can write it is tienes que vestirte para la fiesta. Here we have the pronoun after the verb vestirte because that's the reflexive verb.
And notice that if you're going to put it after the unconjugated verb, make sure you are aware that it has to be attached. So you have to attach it if you're going to put it after. If you want...
Okay, niños, it's time for the practica. This would be a great time for you to pause the video. You're going to text your answers for the following 5 questions to your teachers. Now, kids, make sure you text your answers to the right teacher, okay? That's important because we've had a little bit of confusion, so that would be excellent. Or you could also write the answers down on a paper and hand them in tomorrow. Okay, kids, so let's check out your answers. Let's see how you did. So here's our practica. Uno, Ben se pone la sudadera. Ben puts on his sweatshirt. He does it to himself. Excellent. Número 2. Mariah y sus amigas se pintan las uñas. They paint their nails themselves. Número 3. Yo me arreglo el pelo, dice Lauren. I fix my hair.
She does it herself.
She does it herself. She does it to her own hair. Número 4. ¿Por qué se afeita Diego con tijeras? Why is he shaving himself with scissors? I have no idea.
And why is he doing it in the school bathroom?
That looks a little peligroso.
Sí, cuidado.
Okay, 5. Spencer se duerme en la escuela. Pobrecito, está aburrido. He sleeps in the school. He's sleeping himself. He's not putting anyone else to sleep. He's sleeping.
Yep, so make sure that all of your may, tays, and says agree with the verb conjugation, and we should be good to go. Please bring any questions you have to class tomorrow.
Hola, Vicente.
Hola.
Bañarse. Vicente se baña. Oh, no. Hold on. I have to edit that. Okay. Now, secarce. Secarce. To dry is secarse. Secarse.
Oh.
Bañarse. Secarse. Okay, gracias.